Partition's impact on India. The Partition of India in 1947 was a significant event that led to the creation of two separate nations, India and Pakistan. Several political and social factors contributed to this partition. Politically, the demand for a separate Muslim-majority state emerged due to the perception among some Muslim leaders that their interests would be better protected in a separate nation. The All India Muslim League, led by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, championed the idea of a separate Muslim homeland, which eventually became Pakistan. This demand clashed with the Indian National Congress's vision of a united India. The partition resulted in widespread violence, communal riots, and mass migrations. As the borders between India and Pakistan were drawn, millions of people were forced to migrate across religious lines. This mass migration led to horrific incidents of violence, including attacks on trains and massacres in villages. It is estimated that hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives, and countless others were displaced from their homes. The impact on India's social fabric was profound. The partition created a sense of bitterness and mistrust between Hindus and Muslims that still lingers to some extent today. The violence and displacement caused immense trauma and uprooted communities that had coexisted for centuries. The process of rehabilitation and resettlement of refugees posed significant challenges for both nations. The long-term consequences of the partition are far-reaching. The division of the subcontinent led to the largest migration in human history, with millions of people moving to new countries. It also resulted in the loss of cultural and linguistic diversity, as regions with mixed populations were divided along religious lines. The partition also set the stage for subsequent conflicts between India and Pakistan, particularly the wars over the disputed territory of Kashmir. In conclusion, the Partition of India in 1947 was driven by political and social factors, resulting in widespread violence, communal riots, and mass migrations. It had a profound impact on India's social fabric and continues to shape the relationship between India and Pakistan. The consequences of the partition are still felt today, highlighting the complex and lasting legacy of this historic event. 2. Bhopal Gas Tragedy, 1984. The Bhopal Gas Tragedy, which occurred in 1984, was one of the world's worst industrial disasters. Here are the key details. Background: the tragedy took place in Bhopal, a city in central India, at a pesticide plant owned by Union Carbide Corporation, UCC, an American multinational company. The plant produced a pesticide called methyl isocyanate, MIC, which was used in agricultural applications. Gas leak incident, on the night of December 2nd to 3rd, 1984, due to a combination of factors including poor maintenance, safety standards, and inadequate safety measures, a leak of toxic gases, primarily mic, occurred from one of the storage tanks at the Union Carbide plant. The gas quickly spread throughout the surrounding residential areas, exposing thousands of people to its deadly effects. Immediate effects: the gas leak resulted in the immediate deaths of thousands of people, and caused severe injuries to hundreds of thousands. The toxic gases caused respiratory distress, blindness, burns, and other severe health complications. Panic and chaos ensued as people tried to escape the affected areas. Long-term consequences: the Bhopal gas tragedy had significant long-term health and environmental consequences. The gas exposure led to chronic health issues, such as respiratory disorders, eye problems, neurological disorders, and birth defects in children born to affected parents. The groundwater and soil in the surrounding areas were contaminated, affecting the local ecosystem and posing ongoing health risks. Efforts for justice and compensation: the victims and their families have fought for justice and compensation for the tragedy. The legal battle involved holding Union Carbide and its officials accountable. In 1989, UCC reached a settlement with the Indian government for $470 million, which was widely criticized as inadequate given the scale of the disaster. Many affected individuals received minimal compensation, and the long-term medical and rehabilitation needs of the victims remained largely unaddressed. In summary, the Bhopal Gas Tragedy of 1984 resulted in a catastrophic gas leak from the Union Carbide pesticide plant in Bhopal. The immediate effects caused numerous deaths and injuries, while the long-term consequences included chronic health issues and environmental contamination. Despite ongoing efforts for justice and compensation, the tragedy's impact on the victims and the affected community has persisted over the years. Mumbai terror attacks 2008. The Mumbai terror attacks occurred in November 2008 when a group of terrorists carried out coordinated attacks across various locations in Mumbai, India. The targets included luxury hotels, a Jewish community center, a popular cafe, and the city's main railway station. The attacks lasted for 4 days, resulting in the loss of many lives and leaving numerous survivors with harrowing stories. The heroic actions of hotel staff, police officers, and ordinary citizens in protecting and rescuing people were widely praised. The security forces eventually neutralized the terrorists, but the attacks exposed gaps in intelligence and security preparedness. The global impact of the Mumbai terror attacks highlighted the threat of terrorism and the need for international cooperation in combating such acts of violence. Kedarnath, situated in the Himalayan region of Uttarakhand, India, is an important religious destination and home to the ancient Kedarnath temple. In June 2013, the region experienced torrential rainfall and a cloudburst, resulting in a catastrophic disaster. The heavy downpour caused flash floods and triggered massive landslides, devastating the area. Thousands of lives were lost and infrastructure was severely damaged. The rescue and relief operations faced immense challenges due to the difficult terrain, limited accessibility, and the scale of the disaster, but efforts were made to evacuate stranded individuals and provide aid to the affected communities. Title: India's Tragic Events, A Historical Perspective.